Hey guys, this is E with Scrapbooking with me, and we're going to do a little experimenting today. I have some thin papers. These are pretty thin, and they're not really good for a lot of anything. They're single-sided. I don't really like the design on them. I want more on there. So what we're going to do is we're going to take some of our napkins that you guys have sent. Let's see. This one happens to be just a whole napkin. It's all the right way up. You know, some of them are different in the corners. This one happens to be where you could put it down the whole sheet, just like that. Now, you can put these down solid, put the whole thing on there, or you can just cut out pieces and piece it, and put it around in different areas. We're going to try to do a little bit of both. But I like this one, and this paper is that blue background, so I think that'll be pretty on there. And then we can either cut this up and make tags out of it, make pockets out of it, or whatever for our journal. So, or you can even make journal covers, or you could use this for pages in your journals, lots of different things. So if you have some papers that you're not too crazy about, then just cover them with napkins. Now your thin paper will warp just a little bit with this on here, but if you lay them flat and let them dry, they should be fine. I'm going to use mine for pockets and tags, so I'm not worried about the little bit of warping. But my other ones that I've got drying over there, they're already flattening out. So now I'm just using my matte medium again, and I will have this link below. This is just a very inexpensive brush. Just make sure that you get it all the way to the edge, and I'm only going to put it on half the sheet at a time. That way hopefully I can work with my napkin a little bit better. Now, I'm just going to start down here at the bottom. Now keep in mind, I do not mind a little bit of wrinkles. So that's not a biggie to me. If it is to you, then you can take a lot more time putting your napkin down. It doesn't bother me. And I just lay it down, and then I use my roller and just try to roll it out as flat as I can. But again, I'm not worried about any wrinkles, which I don't get very many anyway, but what few I do get makes it look almost like crackle paste that you put on. So I like that. Now you could probably do this with your PVA glue. I haven't tried it, but I'm thinking you probably could. I just like my matte medium, but you can try it and see. Try it on just a small piece of paper and see what it looks like when it dries. I'm thinking that it would probably work just the same. Now what I do is I go ahead and I get another layer, and I go over this with a top layer. This makes it a lot stronger. It keeps your napkin from tearing, and overall it just makes everything glue down better and gives it a better look, I think. But this is not something that you would have to do. Look at that. I like that. So you can just barely see that blue checkered paper coming through on the back, and I think that looks good. Look at that. I like the looks of that. Alright, let's let this dry. It shouldn't take it long to dry. This matte medium dries pretty quick. And then we'll trim it off and see what we have. Okay, I have another sheet here. It's just a striped, very thin sheet. Not real exciting. but we're going to try to make it exciting. We're going to make it pretty. So I'm just going to pull the backing off of this, hopefully. Some of these are really stuck, and then others come off real easy. I like this napkin. It reminds me of a place I've never been, but I've always wanted to visit. It reminds me of Australia. For some reason, I don't know why. But I'd love to visit there. But I have never seen it in person, but just I watch all the movies that I can that has anything about Australia in there. And for some reason, this one just reminds me of that country. See, this one's sticking all over. There we go. Okay. Now, does it have another layer? If it has another layer, we may be here all day trying to get the backing off of this one. Yep, it has another layer. Whoops, I just tore it. This one is really stuck. I think they used lots of glue on it. Oh, wow. Oh my goodness. Okay. Now, hopefully that is all. Okay, I did tear it just a little bit up there, but I'm not going to worry about that. I can put it back together when I collage it. Now, on this one, I'm going to do, it's not quite as wide as 12 by 12, but that doesn't bother me. I can always trim that off. So I'm just going to go from one side, and then I'm going to trim it. Let's see. Right here's where it ends. I think I'm going to cut right across there, or I'm going to tear right across there. If I can find what I did with my watercolor brush. What did I do with my watercolor brush? Is that it? Yes. All right, these are from Adhesive, and you get 5 or 6. You get 6 in a pack, and I'll link those below. And then I also have a discount code if you want to grab some of these. I'm going to move my paper out from under there just so that I don't wet it. And I'm just going to go right down that seam right there. And then we'll just pull that apart. Just like that. Now, I'm going to save this side over here because I'll show you what I'm going to do with it in a minute. Now, I want my stripes to run up and down. So I'm going to put this on just like that. I love that. I love those colors. That is pretty. So we're going to grab our brush again. And someone asked me the difference in this and Mod Podge. Mod Podge, to me, most of the time leaves a sticky front. Like if you put it on the top here, it never completely dries. It's always kind of sticky. This doesn't. This is especially made to do this type crafting with, and it doesn't leave a sticky residue at all. So that's what I like about this. But, you know, you could use Mod Podge. I mean, there's no reason why you can't. Just use what you have and what you're used to. This is just my preference, but doesn't mean it's the best thing out there. It's just what I like. And this has very little water in it, so it doesn't warp your page as much as some of the glues, and sometimes Mod Podge will really warp your page up. Depends on what brand you get. Some of the manufacturers put more water in it than others. Okay, that should be far enough up. Now, like I said, I'm going to try to start on the side over here. And I'm going to use my little roller to kind of roll it in place as I lay it down. And if you don't have a roller, I think I've saw people use the cards. The only thing about me and the cards is I have a heavy hand, and sometimes I end up tearing my tissue. Sometimes I end up tearing it by pulling on that too hard. The roller won't tear it. As long as you keep your roller cleaned off, it's good to go. I always just go and wash my roller after I do some of these applications, just to make sure that I get any of the residue off of it. Whoops, see, I just tore right there because I have such a heavy hand. But I'm not going to worry about that because that's just part of the pretty. It doesn't have to be a solid application. You could even have torn this out and used it that way if you wanted to. Oh, I love that. It almost makes the bird look like it's in a cage, a bird cage. How cute. Oh, I'm going to enjoy using this one. I think I'm going to use this one for a page in our journal. Okay, now for this part up here, I'm going to use the bird and the flower, I think. Let's see if I lay that down. That will... Yeah, we should be able to get it right there. Okay. Put some matte medium up here. And this that I'm using to glue on is just a glass mat that I use to glue and paint and ink on, and then I can just take it to my sink and I wash it off with soap and water. It takes all of that residue off of there and I'm ready to go again. I have those linked in my, I think they're linked below, and then they're also in my Amazon store if you want to grab one of those. Anytime you shop through any of our links, it just helps us out a little bit. Helps us keep bringing you videos. Okay, got that crooked. Put it back up. So I've got basically 2 pages that I can use here. So we're just going to go over it with more of our gel medium. And when you're using the gel medium over the top, just kind of pull from the center out. Don't do this way. Sometimes I do that way and I forget. But just pull from the center out. And it will glue those edges down. And it keeps it from tearing, unless you're like me and you have a really heavy hand, and then sometimes you tear it anyway. And then I just stick them together right there where they come together. It doesn't matter with me because I can use this for 2 separate pages, or I can use it for journal tags, just whatever I want to. So that doesn't bother me at all. Okay, there is another. Now, I'm going to lay this aside and let this dry. Look at that. Isn't that cute? And see, that makes that paper, when that dries, that paper's going to be nice and strong. Now, here is an odd paper that I just collaged. And I just did a lot of different collaging in different ways. I just put some of my stamped paper up here. I put some book page, some music page, one of our stamp pieces there, a little butterfly. This is parts of 2 different napkins. This is a different one. This is one. That's one. So then I just put a lot of different things on here. Now I can either use this for a cover, for a mini album, or I can wait till this dries really well and I can cut it up and use it for journal tags. Because see, my back, I don't even have to cover the back because it's already white you can write on. But then, you know, I just put different things on here. And then I could go back and actually this page had some glitter on it too, and it's still glued down to it really well. And I could go back once this dries and do some stamping and different things in here if I wanted to, just to fill that page up. But I think it turned out pretty good, just for me laying pieces down and gluing them down and coming from different, I mean, this is even from a printable that I had right here. So, you know, I just took different things and laid on there, things that I had laying here on my desk, and put it on there, and I think it turned out pretty. The paper I didn't like, I would have never used, but this way I will use that. So let's try one like that and just do some different collaging on here. Let's see, what do we want to use? That would go pretty with that. It's got some black in it. And then of course the butterfly one would go pretty on there. So we could pull those 2 in, and then of course we want to use some book page and maybe some music page. So let me grab those out. And you can try and match your book page to the background here. That kind of thing doesn't bother me. I'm not a real matchy kind of person. If you feel like that you need it that way, you want it that way, then that's up to you. But it doesn't bother me if my book page is a little more white than the background here. That's not a big deal to me. I will still use it. Like I said, I'm not a matchy kind of person. It doesn't have to be exactly matching to me. Now, let's see what else we'll use. I think I'm going to use maybe some of those numbers. I don't know. See what else I have in here that I can use. This is just most of my printables. I've got a couple of other people's printables in here, but I'm just going to see what might be small enough that I could pull in there. Kind of blend with that. And it's on a thinner paper. I don't want it on a cardstock. Let's see, there's a pretty butterfly. Okay, let's pull a few of our journal pieces out of here. Just our words. And I may not pull too many because some of mine I printed on cardstock. And I don't want to try to put those down. That one I didn't. It's better if they're thinner, so just pull in the ones that are printed on regular copy paper. Okay, that'll be good enough right there. That should give us plenty to do. Alright, the first thing that I want to do, and I didn't do this with the other one, but the first thing I want to do is put down some book page and some music page, because I want my flowers and butterflies and things to sit on top of this, not the other way around. So this is going to be kind of like the base layer. Now, part of this book page is written on, and I don't want the part that's written on. Well, not really written. They underlined some things, and I don't want that part. This is like an old school book. So it had some things underlined and things like that in it. So I'm just going to tear some pieces and put them randomly. I'm not gonna, I may even put, let's see, I think I'll put that music page sideways, like that. That one like that. Not going to try to be too precise with it because we're always going to come back and cover this. Alright, I tell you what we're going to do. We're going to try to use our PVA glue. We're going to see what happens with it. So I'm going to use the same brush. I'm not going to worry about washing it out or anything. I'm just going to put some of this down. We'll see what happens. We're experimenting, aren't we? So we're just going to see what happens. I think it'll work similar, but I'm not sure. So don't quote me. I am not 100%. But we'll see in just a minute. I know it's a lot stickier. It's harder for me to pull my brush through. So we'll see. Uh-oh. Okay, so those are glued down, and it's warping some, but we'll see in a minute what actually happens to it. Now, let's see about this napkin, what we need to do. Oh, well, I've never seen one like this before. It's just got a strip right down the center of it. Alright, we may not use that one after all. We may use something else. Let's see. This one's pretty. Now I'm just going to lay it out right now. I'm not pressing anything down, not going to glue. I'm just going to kind of lay it out and see what I want it to be like. And you know, I may just do the whole butterfly page. I like that. No, we said we was going to do some collaging, so that's what we're going to do. Alright. So I think I'm going to cut out this little butterfly. This is not a butterfly. It's a hummingbird. And see, I've got butterflies on my brain. And you can either cut it out or just use your water brush and tear it out. It doesn't matter. Let's see. I like this part of this. But I don't want any straight edges, so I'm just going to pull those straight edges off. And I know you can't really see what I'm doing right now. I'm just wetting the edge and then pulling those straight edges away, because we don't want straight edges. Alright, I still have lots to go, but I'm going to start gluing some of this down. This paper is kind of warped. It warped a whole lot more with this than it did with the matte medium. So I don't know how this is going to go down. We shall see. I may have to iron this one once it dries, just since it's warped so bad. So see, your PVA glue has lots more water in it than your matte medium. It has to have, because it wouldn't warp this bad if it didn't. Well, so far so good, I guess. Like I said, the warping is a little bit tougher to deal with, but we're going to keep on plugging along. Let's see. There's a couple of pretty little butterflies. That'd be pretty there, so let's just put that down there. That's already sticking, so all I'm going to do is put a little PVA on top and then press it in. I know it's going to take the PVA a lot longer to dry. I know that part. So let's do the water brush, and let's see, I want another smaller butterfly, so we'll take this one right here out. That one's cute. Put him right there. So what else do we need? We need more flowers, I think. So let's grab more flowers. See what we can get out of this one. I know this kind of looks like a hot mess right now. But I think when we cut it up for tags, it will be really pretty. Because you know, you're not going to see this complete page when you cut it for tags. You're just going to see parts of it. Alright, I'm kind of looking in the viewfinder. I'm kind of looking in the screen to see what else I might need. Nope, not there. Maybe over here. Yeah. So put a little bit right there. And then I think that's all the butterflies and flowers, maybe, that we're going to do. I might put one little flower right there. The page is starting to level back out a little bit, so who knows? It might actually go back to normal. Those are a little bit dark, and like I said, even after I got through saying I don't like matchy-matchy, I'm not trying to match. I just don't want it to be so stark. So I'm going to use a couple of Tina's labels, and they come a little bit closer to blending. Okay, put that there. Put one more. Okay, these are, I don't remember where I got these numbers. I will have to look that up. Now these are pretty stark white, but I'm going to put them down anyway. think once everything is kind of blended out, they will be fine. Okay. I don't want to put ink on them right now because I would have to drag out a permanent ink and then let it dry. Don't want to do that. So I'm just going to put those two numbers down. And is there anything else that we want to put down? I think that is it. Like I said, right now it looks like a hot mess. But once we cut this into tags, I think it's going to be really pretty. Now this page, as much as it is warped, unless it straightens out a lot, we will have to back it with something. I don't really like how the PVA glue reacted to the napkin. It seems like it made the napkin kind of gummy. I'll show you a place right here. See how gummy looking that is? And I know if you touched it, it would just come right up. I don't like that part, so I think I will stick with my gel medium. I buy this stuff by the gallon, so I think I will stick with my gel medium. But I just wanted to try the PVA glue because I've had lots of people ask, would that work just as well? So I just wanted to show you, you know, what kind of process you would need to do with it and if it worked at all. It does work, but you know, when it gets dry, I will see what it looks like then and I'll show you guys. I'm not sure that, so far I don't like it as well, but you know, when it dries, who knows what it will look like. So I'm going to lay this out on a flat surface and just let this dry. And then we will come back and cut it up as tags and we'll see what it looks like then. I think we cut it up as tags and put some laces on there. I think it's going to be really pretty. Now these are some that I did before I turned the camera on. They're not completely dry. They still like just a little bit being dry. But look at that. And I love the feel of it. This one had a blue kind of floral design. Not floral, but see those little circles in the background? It had that blue background to it. This one feels really good. I like the feel of it. It's got that rough texture like an old book. Now, we may still have to put a little something on the back to thicken it up a little bit. I'm not sure. When it dries, I'll be able to tell more about that. But you can see how flat it's beginning to dry. This one, again, is not completely dry. And this is on just an orange and white checked paper. I like that, and it feels really good too. Love the feel of them. So we're going to let that dry a little bit longer. And then here's the one that we just did with you. And you can see how flat that is drying. I mean, that is drying super flat. So, of course, it still likes a little ways to be completely dry, but I like my multi-matte medium. You can get this in big, huge jars. I usually buy it in a big one, then I keep this one and I just refill it. But I will link all of those below. But I love how this does. It doesn't warp the paper quite so much. And then my collage one, the one that I did before I came on, that's it. And I did it with the matte medium as well. And look at that. It's drying pretty flat. And it's almost dry enough that I could cut into that one. Okay, I'm going to continue to let these dry, and then when they get dry, we'll come back and we'll start creating with these. So our pieces are now dry, and all of these feel really good. And that one's curled a little bit, but when I straighten it out and put something on the back, that was that real thin paper. But all these feel good, except this one. And this is the one that I did with PVA glue. It is very sticky, as you can see. Even though it dried overnight, it's very sticky. So I don't like the PVA glue to do this type process. Just wanted to try it because I had quite a few people who asked. But I will go back and put some matte medium on top of this, and it'll keep it from being sticky. That's why I like my matte medium. It leaves a very good texture, and it doesn't leave it sticky. So we're going to lay that one aside. Now this one I have already cut into some tags. There is a couple of tags. Aren't they pretty? Told you after you cut them up, they're absolutely gorgeous. So I like that. This, I can cut it into more tags, or I can cut it into pockets. And then these are little extra pieces that was left. I can make those little side pockets or little tucks. And then these I can make into belly bands. And then here's a couple of little pockets or side tucks there. I just thought they turned out really pretty. I like that. So we're going to lay those aside for a minute. Now, this one, I have been looking at it all morning, and all I want to do out of this one is make a pouch. I don't even want to cut this one up into tags. So I think that's what we'll do. I'm going to lay that aside. And I'm just going to fold this one in the center. Now I have gone ahead and trimmed these off, just so that it wouldn't take me so long on the video. Now that's going to be quite a long pouch. This is the pouch that was made and sent to me by one of you guys. And this is made out of an envelope, but she also made one from a piece of scrapbook paper too. Now I'm sure she probably ironed her napkin, and looks like, I mean, I don't see but one or two little wrinkles in it. I don't think she glued it down. I think it's just attached here at the sides. But I wanted mine to be glued, and I love the wrinkles. That doesn't bother me. I love it. Look at that. I like that look. But we are going to trim it off a little bit. So looks like this one that she made, oops, is cut about right there. So I think we'll cut this one off. Let's see, I'm thinking I might cut it a little bit longer, because I'm not going to tape the sides of mine. So I'm going to cut it a little bit longer than that. And that'll still leave me enough for a belly band. See, it's got a nice belly band there. And now what I'm going to do, let's see, I'm making it up as I go along. What I am going to do is, I'm going to put this in my scoreboard, and hopefully I can score it. I think I can. I'm going to score at 1/2 on this side. There we go. And then 1/2 over here. Then I am going to turn it, and I'm going to score at 1/2 at the top, and at 1/2 at the bottom, or vice versa. So it's scored at 1/2 inch all the way around. Now I'm going to go ahead and fold these just where they are. Now this is for the ones of you who do not sew. This is a good way that you can make your little pouches. You don't have to sew them. So just go around and cut off that little square at all the corners. And I'm just cutting it into a little angle. Okay, so cut those off. And then we want to cut, let's see which one's going to be my front. Let's see, this will be the front right here. So we want to cut right down this score line. And then just angle that out a little bit. And then cut this score line. And angle that out a little bit, just like that. So that's what we have. And now what we're going to do is these pieces right here, I'm going to glue down so that that will be finished off. Let's see, what am I going to glue with? I think I can glue them with my art glitter glue. I may have to hold them for a second, but I think it'll work. Oh, well, it would work if my art glitter glue wasn't stuck. There we go. Sometimes I leave the top off of it just a little bit too long. Now just put a good amount of glue on there. And then just fold it over and work it in with your bone folder. Just like that. And see, that holds it down really well. And then you're going to do the one on this end that way. And then just press that down. Just like that. Nice and flat. And then we are going to fold these over, and I'm going to put glue on the outside of them so that I won't have anything showing here. Now you could put them on the outside like this, but I don't particularly care for that. I want mine on the inside. So I'm going to fold that in. Put my glue right there. Put my glue right here. And then I'm going to bring this over and just kind of place it as close to even as you can. Okay. Just going to make sure that it's sealed down really well. Ooh, I like that. Look at that. There's a pouch. And you don't have to worry about putting your washi tape or anything like that around it. Now I've got just a little bit of white showing right here. So I'm just going to trim that off. And that is it. And see, the ends look nice and flush. So I love that. Love, love, love it. Look at that. Ugh, I love it. I'm going to have to make more pouches now. And see, you've got one side, it's like this. The other side looks like it may be upside down, but this is one that you really can't tell. So I like that part of it. But then we could embellish this a little bit if we wanted to. I think we could put some butterflies on here. What do you think? I am thinking that one of these nice butterflies would work. I'm gonna have to find my little tool here. Oh, I love that on there already. Okay, skip down. There we go. I have to get more of these butterflies. These are beautiful. Look at that. Love it. Okay. Then what else could we put on here? We could put some lace on here. I could put my hoarding lace on here. This is that lace that I'm hoarding. Ooh, that's pretty. I like that. Okay, so I'm gonna have to do it. Somebody told me I might could find this at Hobby Lobby. so I'll have to try to look. I've got to go out today and vote, so I may take a trip on to Hobby Lobby. I think they're open now. I do believe. Okay. Let's put our lace right there. Then somebody was telling me, a lot of people have told me that they get these at the Dollar Tree. They're in the makeup section, and they're similar to this. So we may have to go to Dollar Tree too. Look at that. I love that. Okay, I could just bring it on around like that and not even trim it off. I think I will. Oh, that's pretty. I love it. Okay, trim that off. Look at that. Isn't that cute? Now, do we want to put something else on here? Of course, you know I want some bling on my lace. I mean, that's just a given. I hate that my video went up so late last night. We have just been so busy getting ready for MadeItCon that it seems like I'm always editing at 8 o'clock at night. And I don't have any videos ahead right now, so it's one of those times. Okay, what do we think? Just some right across the center, maybe? Cute. And I don't think I'm going to put it on that side. I don't think. But I think I might put some right down the center of my butterfly. Oh, that's cute. Now, do we need to put anything else on here? I might want to put a word. Let me see if I have one that is kind of in the right color. I could put that on there. That's inspiration. It's got pink in it. I don't really think. I might could put this on there. It would kind of go with that lace. This just says memories. And I'm just going to fray this. I want it frayed quite a bit around the edges. Okay, I have torn just a piece of book page and kind of inked it really vintagey. And I'm going to put that down right there. And then I'm just going to lay this memories on top of that. like that. And then I think we will put 3 little pieces of bling over here. And that's going to be our little pouch. I don't think I want anything else done to it. So what do you think about that? I love it. And that is an easy way to make a pouch. You could fill this up with goodies, send it to a friend, or give it to a friend. But I think that's cute. I like it. I like it. All right. Let's go on and do some cards and things. Let me grab the other pages. Not cards. We will do some tags. Okay. This one I think I will do some tags out of. Let me close all my glue up so that it'll be working when I'm ready for it. I think I'm going to make these about 3 3/4. And I cut this upside down. It just keeps it from hanging on any of this paper. So I just cut it upside down, 3 3/4. And then you could make this into pockets, or you could just leave it as tags. Let's see. I may make that into some pockets. So let's cut these at, I think that's a little bit big for pockets. Let's go ahead and cut about 1.5 inches and make that a belly band. So that we can cut that in half, and that can be 2 belly bands, and then this can be a pocket. So let's make this at about 4.5. No, we'll make them about 5 inches. That's about the size of my pages on mine. Okay, we won't make that a pocket because I cut it sideways. This is up and down, so we'll just make more tags. I've got plenty of these, so it's not a biggie. This I will definitely save. I can even use that for a cluster, for the back of a cluster. Okay. So this is pretty, that's pretty thick. It's not as thick as some of them are. So I might back this with something. Let's see. Yeah, that'll make it a little bit thicker right there. This is on that really, really thin paper. So I might back these. Well, I actually was recording, I thought, when I was making this little pouch, and I wasn't recording. I'm telling you, my mind, it's blown right now. But I made this one the same way that I made the other one this morning. This one, I just cut this one down a little bit smaller. So, and then I used just a piece of the other, that other one that I kind of collaged. I used that right here. I tried using a piece of this on here to make the little pocket, but it blended in too much and it really didn't show. So I just used that. And my little granddaughter was just here, and she has moved everything. So she is one of those kids that walks through the door and she's like a little tornado. She touches everything. She has to play with everything and put her hands on everything in the house and the shop. So she was going to dust for me. And instead of dusting, she just ended up touching everything. So she's a little toucher. So anyway, she was here, and now I can't find any of my scissors, so who knows what she did with them. Scissors. So I was just going to put this little label somewhere, and it just says memories, and I can't figure out where I want to put it. I think I might put it up there above the little bird, and then down here I might put a number. You know, I got to put a number. I got to print more of these numbers off. I have about used all of these numbers up. And these come from Tina from Shabby Dabby Doodah. And I will link her store below. You need to go over and check her store out. She's got some beautiful digitals. She's got one that she just put up that's really, really pretty. I got to get it. And she did one of our videos yesterday and posted it up, and it was so cute. And I know that I got quite a few of her subscribers over here watching some of my videos, and I really appreciate that. Welcome to all of you who've come over from Tina's channel. Tina's a sweetheart. Okay, so that's all I'm going to do to that one, I think. Well, you know, I have to put a little bit of lace on there. So I'm just going to trim these little pieces off the side. A lace. You know, I call this lace trim. This is trim. This is called trim. I put a little bit of this on there. I can't wait for my little stoppers to get here tomorrow to go on my Sugar Bell bottles. They're supposed to be in tomorrow. And then I can empty this bottle up. And I'll have something to close my other bottles up with. They're quite expensive. Whew. They're like $2 a piece, I think. So I think it's supply and demand, because 2 weeks ago they were just $6 for 4. And now yesterday, or day before yesterday, when I ordered them, the second ones, because I ordered the first ones and they never did show. So I ordered the second set, and they were already up to almost $9 for 4. So they better be made of gold when they get here. Okay, I think that's all I'm going to do to that one. So there's another little pouch. I know this kind of sticks out with this being kind of a brown in the background, but I kind of like that because it blends to me with this lace up here. Sometimes when you have a dark background, I like to put a pop of color, brightness on the top, and it just kind of, I don't know, it makes things stand out to me. Now that may not be your cup of tea, and if it's not, you do yours like you want to. But that's how I wanted to do mine. Now, I have just cut some different things here. I think I've cut belly bands. See, this is that real thin paper. This was just like paper that maybe copy paper thickness. That's how thin that was. But the napkins went on it great. And then I'll just back it with something a little bit stronger, a paper that's stronger, and I'll have lots of nice little tags and things there. So see that you've got a pocket here now that you can put a little tag in, and then a pocket up there. These, I'm probably going to wait on these and cut those down into pockets when I put them in my journal. And then those will be tags. That will be a belly band. These, let's see, that will be a belly band. That will be a belly band. And then I've already got some of these backed. Where did they go? The ones I've already backed. These. I have already backed these and cut them into a tag shape. A couple of them anyway. 3 of them looks like. So that one is cut into a tag shape. Now, right now they've still got just a little bit of bow in the top of them, but that's just because I've been working with them and I haven't laid them down flat. But you can see they're going to be really flat. I'll lay them down and put a heavy book on top of them and let all that glue dry where I just put that backing on, and they will be fine. But if that bothers you, then just put a cardstock that's a little bit thicker on the back of them. Now this one, I'm going to cut it into a tag shape. And let's see, which way is up and which way is down. I think this Yeah, I think this will just be a wide tag. Started to make it a pocket, but I think it'll just be a wide tag. Because you know, some you need wide, some you need narrow. And I've already backed it with just some of our dyed paper. So there's that one. Then I can back some of these. Now this one, these are going to be pockets, so I'm not going to back them at all. I will just glue these down to the little journal like that. So that's going to be a pocket. That will be, let's see, that needs to be a tag. That is going that way. That needs to be a tag. So the pockets, I'm just going to lay them over here. The tags, I'll go ahead and back them and cut them. So let's find some paper. Okay. Here is our paper. And I'm just going to use art glitter glue on this. That way I don't have to get my fingers all sticky with that glue stick. And this is just making a lot of tags and things ahead of time, because I will definitely use these when I start putting together more journals and more mini albums. I will use these up in no time. I always use more tags and pockets and things like that than I do anything. Now you could leave some of these straight if you wanted to. You wouldn't have to cut them. You could round the corners on some. I think this one I might just round the corners, since I've learned that I can punch the corner with my left hand. Oh, I think I can. Maybe not. Oh yeah, there we go. I thought I had turned my phone off. Sorry about that. I will get that turned off. It doesn't like to cut that back part, but there we go. So we have just rounded those corners, and now there's a nice tag. And you can go ahead and put more on these if you want. I'm not sure how much more I'll put on them, but we can do that. We can put more on. That's not going to be quite wide enough. So I've got this brown piece that's pretty thick, and I'm just going to glue that down to that. And that will make sure that that's nice and sturdy. So this is just a good way to use some scraps, use some of those napkins that I know a lot of people have told me that in their town they can get all sorts of napkins. We can't get napkins here. I've looked everywhere. Haven't found anybody that has them. We do have a little Tuesday morning, but it's just, I mean, it's teeny tiny and it has very little in it. And none of the things that I have seen other people say that they got at Tuesday morning do we have. It just has the bare minimum in it. So, all right. I think I'll round the corners on this one too. And I am just going to this is pretty pitiful, isn't it? There we go. All right, so there is another tag. I have to look at that number right there to make sure I'm getting them the right way up. So I've got all of those tags. I've got these pockets. These are going to be belly bands, so I'm just going to go ahead and cut this one in half. Right there. That'll be a belly band, and then this one will be a belly band. I love working with this. I just love the feel of it. There's another belly band. And then these are the little, these are the ones that's on that thin paper. So I'll probably back them with something nice and strong. I may make, let's see, what can we make out of this one? What do you think? We could make, We can make a little fold over pouch out of this one. We could do that if we wanted to. Let's see what we can do with that. Just gonna fold it. Who knows if this will work, but we're gonna fold it like that. And then that's gonna be the top. Come down like that. Let's see. And then we need to, oh, I don't want to fold this, but I do want both of the sides cut the same way. So I just want to, I'm going to hold it like that. And I'm just going to go like that. Let's see if that worked. Yep, there's our little lip on there. Now you can go ahead and back this with something if you want. I really don't think it needs it. This is pretty strong. And once it gets, you know, laid down for a little while, it definitely will be strong. Just gonna make sure. Now, you could close this or not. Let's decide what we want to do. I've done like 4 parts of this video, so I have no clue how long it will be in total, but hopefully it won't be too long for everybody. Okay, we could use a little bit of green paper and a little bit of coffee dyed paper. Okay, let's see if we can just make just a little notebook to go in there. Okay, I'm going to fold it over about right there. I think that's about the right width. Yeah. And then I'm just going to fold it one more time. And I'm just going to trim this part right here off. I can use these little pieces right here that I'm trimming. I can use those for little clusters. So I'll save those for my clusters. And then all we need to do is trim it down through here and down through here. And I think I'm just going to use my ruler. So like I said, my paper trimmer does not like this paper. See if I can see my fold there. And I like the edges a little bit frayed like that. That's fine with me. And it doesn't have to be perfectly straight. Remember, my perfection went out the window. No more perfection in this life. Well, I wasn't perfect anyway. Oh yeah, that's gonna work just great right there. Okay, what we're gonna do is fold this somewhere close to the center. I'm not gonna worry about it being perfect. And then we're gonna fold that right there. I'm creating on the fly again. I hope you guys are okay with that. And then you could sew this right here with, you know, your stitch, like your needle and thread, or you could just glue all these together. I'm just going to run a stitch on my sewing machine down through there just to make it quick and easy. So let me do that. Okay, I have stitched that in. Let's see if I can find the center of it. Stitch that in, and then while I was at it, I just went ahead and went around the perimeter of it, and that's just with a black zigzag stitch. So let's see what else we're going to put on here. We can open it up this way, or it can open that way. Let me see. Let me think. I think I want a button or something right there to kind of tie it closed. Maybe a button here and a button here. So let's punch a couple of little circles out of something. What shall we punch them out of? It's going to have to be something a little bit thick. Let's see if that's going to work. I don't know how that's going to look. Let's try it. That's a really thick cardstock, but it may not look so good on there. We'll see. Oh, I don't mind that. It kind of pulls in some of that brown in the back, so we'll do that. So I always cut two. I like to glue a couple of them together. And then put one right there and one right there, and then we can kind of tie that up. Let's see if we have any brads that's going to work on here. I have a couple of those little pale green ones right there. That'd be cute. So let's get our pokey tool and then decide where we want it. I think right there maybe. And then our other one, we need to go right down here somewhere. I think that will work right there. Okay, so there is that. And then, what are we going to tie it with? You know, I have this string that is in a gold. That might work just as good right there. Let's see if we have anything else. I think that'll work right there. Let's just do that. I haven't made one of these closures in a while. I think I saw Tina last night made one of these. Sometimes I use magnets, and then sometimes these are just a little bit easier. Okay. There we go. So there is that. Now what do we want to do? Do we want to do anything else to it? I don't think we really need anything else on there. We've got a little notebook, and that should be good. And I think that is all that I'm going to do on this video. Like I said, this video is probably already pretty long because I've had to do it in 2 or 3 different days, 2 or 3 different parts. So it could already be quite long. So I am probably going to cut it off right here. I still have one more piece, this one, and I think I may make a pouch out of this one too. I'll just split it and then turn this one around so that they'll both be face up and make a pouch out of that as well. I think that would be pretty. Alright guys, I'm going to end it right here. I may come back and put one of these little butterflies on here just to kind of give it a little bit of something else. If I do, you'll see that in the photos. But this is just a few things that we made out of those few napkins that we used and those old scrapbook papers that we knew we weren't going to use for anything else. This is just what we got to make. Alright, I hope you enjoyed this, and I hope you will give it a try. And if you do, make sure that you share it over on our Facebook page. If you haven't joined our Facebook page yet, that link is directly below. You can go over there and share all of your projects. We love to see them. We love to get inspiration from you guys. And we will talk to you later. Please don't forget to give us a thumbs up and hit that subscribe button. And have a great day. Bye-bye, guys.